Welcome to That's DPI. We are on location here at Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs were celebrating their breast cancer awareness crucial catch game, and in that, they had many crucial catches, as it was 4 touchdowns by Mahomes.
That's right.
Is that
4
correct?
total.
4 total touchdowns by Mahomes. You'll have to break some of those down for me. I'm working a little bit right now, so
Yeah, obviously it was
I'm off the clock now.
You're
but
right. It was
I am
a-
off the clock.
It was a great game. I had a great time thanks to the seats. And we were right next to the field. We got tons of views of 4 Mahomes touchdown passes. But I have a stat of the day because in the podcast episode, in our preview, you said that turnovers and penalties are the 2 things that you have to be. The team that does better on those wins the games.
Mm-hmm.
Neither team had a turnover. In the traditional sense,
Yeah,
there was some
outside of the
turnover on
turnover
downs,
downs.
but neither team had a traditional turnover. But the final penalties was 4 penalties for 45 yards on the Detroit Lions. You want to know how many penalties for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Do we have Eddie?
0 for 0 yards.
0
the
for the
Chiefs did not turn the ball over in a traditional sense and did not commit a penalty. It is very difficult to lose a football game against even the best teams if you do those 2 things.
And I think that's what we've said, even going back 3 or 4 weeks now, is that's what's killed the Chiefs. I said in our last episode is that the turnovers in the red zone has been what's absolutely detrimental to the Chiefs. They avoided that tonight, and we got a multi-score lead over a very good football team as a result of just not committing the ball, not committing penalties or turning the ball over.
Yeah, I think that no matter how you shake it, as a Lions fan, this is an extremely impressive win. The Lions have had injuries on defense before, and they have played and won against great teams. For the Chiefs to come out and not play down to their opponent for once, and actually go out and hit people in the mouth, commit no turnovers, commit no penalties, it was great. And I think the X factor here is left tackle Jalen Moore, who found out he was starting today because Josh Simmons' game status was ruled as out as he is dealing with a family issue in California. Jalen Moore starts, doesn't give up a sack, I don't think. He played great. The passing game was on fire. Mahomes' adjusted completion percentage was 89% today.
So for the viewers, what do you mean adjusted?
So when you take into account drops, for example, there was a couple drops by Pacheco that would have boosted his completion percentage, expected completion percentage.
Okay.
So his expected completion percentage when you factor out drops on good throws, on catchable throws,
Okay.
should have been close to 90%. If Mahomes is completing 90% of his passes, he's probably winning the game.
And this is without Rashee Rice, too, who they're going to get next week.
Yes, the Raiders have to face off against, in my opinion, the hottest offense in football. 3 straight games of 30-plus points.
Wow.
You get your starting receiver back, who the Chiefs view as a bona fide number 1 wide receiver. They've said this multiple times, and Tyler and I can attest. We went to multiple training camp sessions, watched Rashee Rice before the suspension. He made everyone else look worse. He was that good.
He was by far the best receiver on the team.
Easily.
So after tonight, what does the Chiefs win plus getting Rice back mean for the Chiefs?
Absolutely huge. We kind of came into this saying it's almost a must-win because if you drop this game to the Lions, the Chiefs dropped to 2-4. There's not a lot of teams that have pulled out of a 2-4 hole to not only make the Super Bowl, which is the Chiefs' goal this season, but make the playoffs even. And I believe if there was a team to come back from it, it would be Kansas City. But 2-4 regardless, that's a big hole. What do you think?
I agree. I think going back to 2-4, had the Chiefs lost, it wouldn't have been completely out, but it would have been a very uphill climb. Now the Chiefs are they're 3-3. The top 2 in the division are 4-2. There's still a lot of football left, and we play Denver, who's 4-2 twice.
Right.
We play San Diego one more time as well. The
LA.
division is LA one more time before the season's over. The division's wide open now.
And another one final point on how much this means to the Chiefs. The Chargers made a last-second rally with 50 seconds left. They came back and won against Miami to get a win, and that would have put them in even more of a tough situation, having the tiebreaker currently. So to get this win, keep pace with the Chargers, at this point, it's big. Now, Chiefs fan, what does this mean? Drops the Lions to 4-2 for the rest of their season.
This record being 4-2 alone doesn't mean a whole lot. When we said over the offseason, this is not going to be a 14-2 team like they were last year. To me, this is 15-2. This is a you win some, you lose some situation. But my big implication of what tonight is going to bring is the fight at the end of the game.
Yeah, we have to touch on that.
You have Brian Branch taking a swing, which to me doesn't mean a whole lot, but that's an ejectable offense. We've covered in episodes the difference between a punch and a slap per the NFL rulebook. So Brian Branch swinging at the very end could bring him a suspension. And you guys face a 5-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week. So if you've got Arnold, who is out, and Branch out for a suspension,
And DJ Reed on IR.
and so now all of a sudden this 4-2 team could become 4-3.
Right.
And I think that's the bigger implication in Detroit, is
Certainly.
starting just above 500.
I think if you just lose this game without the fight at the end, the implications are not as large. The Lions came in here with a skeleton crew secondary. Their nickel corner was elevated this week because Avonte Maddox had an weak injury that caused him to be downgraded to out. So obviously there's a silver lining to giving up an expected completion percentage of 90% to Patrick Mahomes. You were playing with a skeleton crew secondary, but you can't make a bonehead mistake at the end of the game that's clearly your fault. Brian Branch has done this before. He was ejected against Green Bay last season, and he's had multiple personal foul penalties for late hits. He's a foolish player sometimes, and he's a bonehead, and it reflects poorly on the team. And as a fan, Dan Campbell, if the NFL doesn't take action, I wouldn't be surprised if Dan Campbell benches him for a half. No matter the implications on the team, because this has to stop. It's been a recurring issue. It's bubbled over here in Kansas City.
I agree, and Juju Smith-Schuster, even though he didn't take a swing as far as I
didn't.
saw, I mean, he's still somewhat to blame. So there's probably going to be a fine from Juju Smith-Schuster at
I
that
imagine,
point.
but the ejection would go to Branch.
Yes,
He
the ejection and
instigated it.
suspension would absolutely go to
Instigated
Branch.
it with the closed fist, and like you said, we've covered it. Open hand, no ejection.
Apparently,
fist?
this is fine. This is not fine, according to NFL stipulation, according to the NFL precedent.
But that's about all we have for our recap this evening. We'll get a lot more in depth this week on the full episode, so make sure you don't miss that. But thanks for tuning into our first episode of That's DPI on Location. Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it.